What's up YouTube? Today we're talking about doing green screen effects in Davinci Resolve 16. This is a green screen. I don't actually have the biggest green screen in the world, but I just like to use it kind of as like a background change now and then. And mine is actually positioned against the wall, and I'm going to show you how I set mine up. And then I'm going to show you in Davinci Resolve 16 how it actually works. So what I like about the green screen is you can pretty much go anywhere you want. If I wanted to go to the USA, for example, I can do like a tech vibe if I wanted to. Maybe I want to do something Irish, I don't know, an Irish theme. The UK, everything is just doable with your green screen. So let me give you some tips and tricks on setting up the green screen, and then we'll dive into Davinci Resolve 16. So the person that you're trying to green screen would be sitting on that chair in my setup, and then I've got two lights that actually light the person up. This is actually better because it actually lights your fingers and everything close to your face. You need to actually light the subject separately from the green screen. That's a big tip, and it'll help you later when you're actually having issues with your keys and stuff like that, and your green screen just looks crummy. So this is one of the lights that I use to light up the green screen. I'll leave an Amazon link for these kinds of lights. They're pretty damn cheap. I think they were like $30 for two, which is pretty damn ridiculously cheap. This is one of the light bulbs that comes with these lights. Pretty huge. I don't even think they're that expensive. But so these lights also come with a little cover that actually softens the light, and it's pretty cool even for filming your YouTube videos. But I just use two of them to light up my green screen. Probably not the best lights for the job. You can probably get better, more expensive lights, but we don't have the budget on this show. So let's move on. Make sure your green screen is actually pulled relatively tight. You don't want to see too many shadows or creases across the thing, unlike mine, which has shadows and creases. And I had to buy the frame separate, but I believe the frame is extendable to just under 10 feet, so it's pretty wide. And I think the green screen that I actually bought was 2.2 meters, so I could even extend it further out if you wanted to get bigger, larger shots. Another tip for you is you don't actually want to be too close to your green screen. You can get some light bleed and green on the actual subject. You probably want to be roughly 6 feet away from the green screen in front of those two lights that are lighting up your green screen. So in Davinci Resolve 16, this is an example of a perfect green color in the background. And let's say we wanted to put a kitchen on the background and have this lady doing her hand movements over the kitchen. So I'll just keep these clips the same by pressing Ctrl B, then select both these clips, right click and go New Fusion Clip at the top. Now all we need to do is go into our Fusion tab by clicking the Fusion tab at the bottom. Now we can just sort these clips. We press F2 to rename that clip, which is the, let's call that estate agent. And then we'll just check that the other clip is the kitchen. F2 to rename it and call that kitchen. And just like that. Now we also need to make sure that the merge node has the correct fore and background. We would like the kitchen to be on the background, which is the yellow little icon, and the estate agent to be on the green, which is the foreground. Now we'd like to key out the estate agent's green, so we need to select the estate agent, press Shift Spacebar and add a delta keyer. Click Add and it'll add a new node. Now click on that delta keyer and go to the top right of your screen. You'll see there's a little eyedropper. Drag that eyedropper, do not click it, you need to drag it across the screen, holding your left mouse button and let it go over the green screen. This will key it out and it absolutely looks perfect. There's no need to even adjust this because the green screen has been done so well. The one thing that we could do is add a transform node between the delta key and the merge and just adjust the size so the estate agent is a little bit bigger. But what do you do when you have a green screen like mine, which doesn't have the best lighting and it doesn't work so well? Well, let's try add this USA into my background. I right click and go New Fusion Clip, and then I go into my Fusion tab at the bottom and do the same thing. I rename the one clip to the green, let's say, F2 on your keyboard and rename this to green. And then I choose the second media, which is Mount Rushmore, call that USA. Now just remember to redirect the correct foreground and background on the merge node, and then choose the green screen, press Shift Spacebar and add a delta keyer. Now if we go to the top right and drag the eyedropper and drop it over our green screen, we see there's a little bit of bleeding in between the two layers. We can fix that by going to the third tab and adjusting the threshold, at which point you'll see it'll disappear. If we zoom into the image, we'll see there's a couple harsh edges. We can actually fix this up by adding a little bit of blur, or we can click Erode and Dialate slightly, which just takes away some of those harsh edges. If we zoom into the fingers, you'll see there's a slight glow over those fingers. and cleaning the foreground or cleaning the background will not really help much with this. However, we can actually erode and dilate slightly more, and that's about as good as we're going to get considering the lights that I have, and the hand looks pretty good. In the areas where the green screen is poorly lit, you can play with the thresholds, and hopefully that should get rid of most of those little flickering problems. However, this is a pretty good result considering it's quite a cheap system I've got here, and I think that's acceptable. I hope you got something out of this video. Maybe hit that subscribe button, I really appreciate it, and see you again next time.